Yesterday I shared my Revive stockpiling guide that has saved me over 10,000 units in going through the Abyss. I don't do the exact same thing for you. If you missed that guide, it'll be posted in the description. As long as you space out your runs about a month apart, you could also save 10,000 units. But that's only half of the battle. We need to talk about potions today, because I also used a ton of potions in order to help me get through the Abyss. As a matter of fact, I used a grand total of 2,503 approximately of level 3 potions. I was keeping track throughout all of the fights. Part of that was because I didn't have Aegon. As soon as I got Aegon, that number dropped dramatically. I probably would have only used about 1,500 in total, but that's still a lot of potions. So it shouldn't be any surprise to you guys that I'm going to talk about auto fighting in Realm of Legends today, because I made a video about that a year ago. After Colossus's buff, he was able to auto fight through Realm of Legends, but it wasn't perfect. And since then, I've come up with some additional tips that I want to share with you guys, and also some different options of champions that work pretty well in Realm of Legends. Before we get into that though, these solo events have also actually been a huge help, because if we look once again at the 22-hour solo events, and we take a closer look at the 4th milestone here, these potions are huge. Now, when I was keeping track of the potion count in the Abyss, I was just kind of converting everything to a level 3 potion. So the level 4 potions, they heal for about 3 times as much as the level 3. So every time I used one of these level 4 potions, I counted that as 3. So if you do the same method of stockpiling the revives that I was talking about in the previous video, along with trying to get as many of the potions as possible as well, then you could easily get the equivalent of about like 100 or even a bit more of level 3 potions just from hitting these milestones. So that's a huge help right there. But of course that's not enough. So we need to hop into Realm of Legends, and like I said, this is kind of my modified approach. This is the team that I was using to farm potions for all of my Abyss runs, and I'm going to explain why the team works out so well in just a moment here. First things first, like I said, I made a video a year ago of Colossus doing this, so it's not really new. So we're not going to watch this entire fight. But the way that my approach has changed is back then I was trying to bring in the absolute best team possible to give Colossus the highest chance possible of soloing this guy. Dude, the reparries of the AI, they're just on point. Anyway, my approach has since changed to a more team-based strategy, where I still want to support Colossus. I'm still bringing in some of his best synergies, but you know, there's so many powerful mutants these days that I just assembled a strong team of mutants that if one goes down, I just load in the next one. And usually my kind of tag team combo of champions here is Colossus and Magneto. And I'll explain exactly why these two champions are so good for it. I mean, first things first, if we take a look at Aunt May here, I mean, of course, they're mutant champions, like I said, so they have class advantage against Winter Soldier. So not only do they have the increased attack, but they're also lowering Winter Soldier's attack, and that's huge. Defense actually matters a lot for potion farming, and if Colossus uses his special 3, he becomes incredibly tanky. That's what we kind of noticed from you know, a year ago when this was first figured out, where when you pop a special 3, you put a passive fatigue on the opponent, reducing their crit rating by a ton. Essentially, the opponent cannot land a critical hit anymore. So Colossus is really good if he pops the special 3. Let's check back in game. Looks like I haven't popped a special 3, which means I'm probably not going to get this solo. Again, we'll check back on this in just a moment. Let's go to the next champion here, which is Magneto. I have a 5-star rank 5 Sig 200 loaded in here, and you can see that part of his awakened ability actually gives him critical resistance. Again, this is the biggest part. This is the biggest defensive thing that you can have going into a fight, is critical resistance. Most of the damage in this game comes from those yellow numbers, right? The yellow numbers that we all love to see when we're the ones dishing them out, and hate to see when we're the ones getting hit by them. If you have some critical resistance, that can actually be huge. So Magneto with the class advantage, reducing the opponent's attack, having that bit of crit resistance, he's actually really sustainable for fighting Winter Soldier. Dude, Colossus, you're not supposed to win this fight. Like, he might actually win. So you know what? I'm going to quit out right now. He does solo it fairly often. I don't know the exact percentage. I've never paid enough attention to know the percentage when using this team. I would say it's maybe 50% or something like that. But the point is, even if we force quit out of there, all you have to do is just load in the next champion. And now Magneto, he is guaranteed going to finish up this fight. Unless my finger somehow slips and turns off auto fight, he's got it. It's locked in. Let me show you some other examples though real quick while Magneto finishes that up. So of course Kingpin, now that I have him ranked up, now that he's been reworked, this is actually my best potion farmer. He gets through 99.9% of the time just fine. He doesn't really need a team backing him up. I've actually switched to an all offensive mastery team with him, but for the offensive mastery team, I just pull in like the standard mutant crit synergy team, and Magneto happens to be a part of that, which you guys could also use if you have like a really solid potion farmer and you just want a Magneto to back that up. Just put Magneto and the other mutants on the team. I'll show you in just a moment what that looks like, but this guy's the best at it as far as I'm concerned, that I have at least. He might not be the literal best. Doom is another good example that a lot of players do have ranked up Dooms these days. His crit resistance is bananas. The opponent will not land a critical hit. He does not have that class advantage, and his natural damage output when not doing something like the Doom cycle, it's not amazing, but I tried auto fighting with Doom once. He was able to get Winter Soldier down, I don't know, like 30 or 40% just himself or something like that. So he's probably not going to solo it too frequently, but you could toss him on the team at least if you just need that other, another champion. Oh, looks like we're done with the fight. So let's see. Do we get any potions? Yep, we got one potion. Okay, cool. So real quick before we talk about this team, I just want to show a couple of more champions that are pretty good for this. Sentinel's another one of those champions that, again, looking at his analysis, he gains critical resistance per analysis charge. He can solo the fight sometimes, but again, it's never a guarantee when you have the AI. You're dealing with the AI. They sometimes auto fight is great, sometimes auto fight sucks. Fury is another good example as well. A lot of people have this champion ranked up, especially when prepping for something like the Abyss. And he does not actually have critical resistance to my knowledge. I've never actually dug through here, but some things that he does have that will help the team is he does have, a synergy that increases attack of hero champions at least. So if you're using some hero champions for it, that could be helpful. And if he's awakened, he comes with a second life, meaning his base health. Just go to like a 565 here. His base health, add at least 30% on top of that, since the real Fury, he drops down to 30% after. Just having a higher base health like that is actually pretty huge for it. But really, most of the mutant champions, most of the stronger high-level mutant champions will put in some good work against Winter Soldier. So especially with so many of them being strong these days, you can probably just take whatever your best mutants are, load them in there. Again, sorry to the newer players, because this is not going to work out for you. You're probably going to want rank 5-star champions at least for this. And yeah, you shouldn't have any issues. So let's go over my actual team here. I really want to show you guys how streamlined this actually is when you get everything set up right. So I have Colossus is my best auto fighter. Magneto can solo the fight too, but Colossus has a higher percentage just to solo the fight. So I actually want him to have the highest PI. That way I don't need to switch my champions around at all. So like you see Omega Red on the team, it's a 4-star. It's very intentional that it's a 4-star. Because if I throw in my 6-star, then it will default to using Omega Red first. And this dude does not solo Winter Soldier. He'll, again, take off maybe about 30% or something like that. Sometimes a little bit more. My 5-star Omega Red, same thing. You know, his PI is just too high. So I actually want Colossus to be the first one there, but of course I want that synergy for Colossus. So I throw in the 4-star. Emma is another champion that provides a great synergy for Colossus that I want on the team. And Emma, worst case scenario, there has been a few times where both Colossus and Magneto died, and then Emma, she finished off like the last 3% of the fight. But that happens pretty infrequently. For the most part, you know, like I said, Colossus, he'll solo the fight, I don't know, 40-50% of the time, something like that. And then the rest of the time, Winter Soldier is down pretty low, and Magneto will finish things up. So I literally just hit begin quest. I just walk up to Winter Soldier, and you'll see it's defaulted to Colossus. I hit fight. If Colossus goes down, Magneto is the next highest PI by default, so he's automatically selected. I don't need to make any changes there. I hit fight again, and these guys just run it for me. You know, you do still have to be here pressing this stuff. Don't anybody get any wise ideas and try to set up a bot for something like this. You will get banned. But it's something that you can do anywhere, because it's literally just these few key presses and you're good. You know, I was doing this stuff. I would go walk to the grocery store and start an auto fight. And a few minutes later, I just pull the phone out of my pocket and be like, oh, cool, I got a potion. Let me just click a few times. You know, back, like as soon as Winter Soldier dies, I just exit out and just go back in and do the exact same thing. So I would just do that while, like I said, walking to the grocery store, do that while cooking. I mean, I'm only making pasta, so it's pretty easy. Maybe if you're making something fancy, maybe you couldn't do that even. But yeah, just throwing some spaghetti in the pot, auto fight. Editing videos, auto fight. So yeah, you could play a different game, auto fight. You can do whatever you want and just auto fight through Winter Soldier. Again, there is a requirement to have a certain level of champions, but if you take a team-based approach to it, and you might have to play around and figure out like what your optimal team is, but in doing that, I did farm potions manually way back in the day. I might have been the first person to farm up an absurd number of potions back during the Labyrinth of Legends days. You know, I didn't even have Star-Lord, who was the best for it at the time. I had Gwenpool, which was like probably second best, but probably a distant second best champion in Labyrinth at the time, at least. This is way before Aegon and all that, right? And I did manually farm potions. And back then, it saved me an insane number of units. I was saying, yeah, I'll probably be able to get through Labyrinth in under 1,000 units, not telling anyone that I was just farming potions like crazy. And people were like, no way, dude, that's unheard of. And I got through there with 0 units used, but I lost part of my soul because manually fighting for these potions, oh my god, dude, like I can't do it anymore. I cannot do it anymore. Back then it drove me nuts, but today, like, no way. Like I said, every once in a while, it's actually fun to do some, some potion farming. When you're just like testing out a new champion or something like that, or maybe you want to see how fast you can go through Realm of Legends, that's cool. But when you have to farm up like 1,500 to get through the Abyss, or something like that, no. That ain't happening, dude. So I just auto fought the entire way. And like Kingpin, he's actually my best champion for it right now. A lot of you guys probably already aware of that since I did make some Kingpin content recently. I'd back him up with just a mutant crit team. The first time I showed it, I used the Red Skull because Red Skull also with the synergy provides a little bit of extra armor, but it just wasn't necessary. Like Kingpin, he was such a tank already that I just ended up going full mutant crit team. So, you know, of course, talking about like Cyclops, get Wolverine in here, and then I'd also have the other Magneto as well. So yeah, this became my auto fight team once I got Kingpin ranked up. But these days I don't really have a need for potions anymore anyway. But then again, 7.2 is coming out, so Maybe I'll farm some potions for that. And, you know, Kingpin's PI here is so much higher since he's a 6-star rank 3, and he just annihilates that dude. And because of the rage stacks that he always has the regen going from willpower, and yeah, pretty easy time. But in any case, I hope that this helps you guys to understand that you don't need just one champion. That's the big takeaway here. You don't need to find one champion that's going to, you know, every single time get through Winter Soldier. Just assemble a team, and when one goes down, just load in the next one with auto fight still, and just every few minutes, just look back at your phone and just tap the screen one time. You know, that's all you got to do. But all right, in any case, that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully these two videos combined with the revive farming, the potion farming, will help you guys save a ton of units going through challenging content like the Abyss. And if it did help you out, let me know. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.